my Final Start Fitness peeps. My name is Jason Bames. I'm with Final Start Fitness, and today we wanted to bring you an exciting video on the concept of insulin resistance. Now, if you've been around me at all, if you've worked with me as a client, you've heard me talk about these 5 key areas that'll help you, whether it's building muscle, whether it's losing weight, whether it's just living a healthy life. And these 5 key areas revolve around nutrition, exercise, sleep, stress, and toxins. So you may have never heard of the term insulin resistance, or it's possible that you've heard of it and only thought it was for people that had diabetes. So what I wanted to do is just briefly discuss the role of insulin and blood sugar, because I feel it's very, very important in your ability to lose weight. If you get this one thing, I think you'll be on the road and a journey to weight loss and having success. A lot of people think that it's all about how many calories you eat and how much that you work out. So if you eat less and you work out more, you're gonna lose weight. But that's not really the case, and that's what my job, what I want to do is help shift your thinking and help you understand that it's more important that how well your body uses the energy that you do take in when you consume food, for example. So what I want to explain is insulin's role in metabolizing the food that you eat to burn it as energy. Okay, so hormones like insulin, they send signals into your cells. You're made up of trillions of cells, and hormones send certain messages into the cell for the cell to do a certain function. So let's just imagine this is a cell right here. Insulin's job is to send in the message to the cell to allow sugar from food that you eat into the cell. So when you eat food, it digests, turns into sugar, goes into the bloodstream. Your body releases this hormone called insulin. Insulin binds to the receptors on the cell, sends a signal in to allow the sugar into the cell. Then that sugar gets used for energy. What we want is we want our cells to be efficient at using energy. If your cells aren't efficient at it, it doesn't matter how many calories that you eat. So what insulin resistance is that over time, from our high processed carbohydrate, high sugar diets in our Western America, you develop what they call insulin resistance. What that means is that now this cell, the insulin binds to the cell and sends a signal in there, and it no longer gets the message. So I like to use 2 analogies. It's kind of like this. Like, if you ever seen somebody just screams at their kids like all the time, they're like, stop it, blah, 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 yeah. And they're just like overboard, and you're almost like, whoa, whoa. But the kid almost gets to where he tunes it out, like he can't even hear it anymore. You ever seen that before? I've seen it a lot. So that's the same thing that's kind of going on, is that you're bombarding the cell all the time with massive loads of sugar, because we have this high processed carbohydrate diet in our Western world. And now the cell gets overloaded, and it no longer hears the message, and it starts rejecting the sugar. Now the sugar gets backloaded into the bloodstream. It gets stored for later use as stored fat. So now it's just the fact that the cell is not using the energy or the food that you eat efficiently, and it's just getting stored as fat. What we want is we want that signal to start working properly again. So what I want to talk to you about is one sure thing you can start doing that can make a massive change and difference in your ability to lose weight, and that's helping you to become more insulin sensitive. So there's one surefire way that you can help become more insulin sensitive, and that's just avoiding a lot of the high processed carbohydrates and the sugars that we're constantly eating on a regular basis. These are things like breads, pastas, grains, fruits that are high in sugar, beverages, your condiments like barbecue sauce and ketchup. Like, all these things have hidden massive amount of sugar in it. And so if you can just start to cut some of them things out, then it's going to control your how much sugar you have in your blood all the time. So if you just were able to do that one thing, can make a massive difference. Now, I do talk about these 5 different areas on purpose, because Each one of these can affect your blood sugar levels independently, but I wanted to focus just on this one thing that you can start doing dramatically. And I know, you're always talking, I hear it all the time, you're like, but Jason, I love my bread, I love my carbs, I've got to have it, I can't live without it. But I want to tell you, you can do it, it's just, the carbs are very addictive because they're constantly raising that blood sugar, and what happens is your body responds by releasing other hormones that make you want to bring that blood sugar back up, so you crave more of that. If you can do this and change your diet up a little bit, I promise you it'll help the cravings, and you won't have, you won't crave them carbohydrates and sugary foods all the time. And that's just by adding really good healthy fats. They're going to keep you satiated longer and give you an alternative source of fuel instead of using sugar all the time. So just by changing your diet up a little bit, you're going to eliminate some of them cravings, and you won't be so addicted to it, and you can help become more insulin sensitive. So these are some of the foods that you want to actually add into your diet to help make that process easier, help downregulate some inflammation, help make things work properly and make you become more insulin sensitive. These things are good healthy fats like coconut oil, egg yolks, avocados, fish. You got olive oils or olives, nuts, coconut flour. If you want to bake, coconut flour, almond flour are good sources. They're high in fat, low carbohydrates. Avocado oils, they're great for cooking in high temperature. Raw organic dairy, grass-fed beef, almonds, flours, and seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, high in omega-3 fatty acids. And all of this is combined with a lot of non-starchy vegetables. You want to get as many greens, high fiber foods that you can get in, like a lot of solids. These things are going to really help cut the cravings out, and it's going to help downregulate this insulin resistance, help you become more sensitive. So when you do eat sugar, it responds more efficiently, and now you're going to start to use that food that you're eating as energy more appropriately. Again, see, it's not about calories in and calories out, because if this doesn't work properly, all the food that you are eating is just getting stored as fat. So I hope this is making sense to you. If you could just start doing this one thing, and then I'll have some other videos that can kind of help explain why some of these other factors come into play when it comes to insulin resistance. But for now, if you could just do this one thing, cutting out a lot of these sugary foods, we all know it's not very good for us, but hopefully this is enough to conceptualize it for you and make sense, so you actually have a reason why you want to cut that out. So hopefully this helps. My name is Jason Dames with Final Start Fitness again. Have a great day. God bless you.